Welcome to the Lake Show, where you can find out what's going on in and around Lake Loudoun. This show is brought to you by the Fort Loudoun Lake Association, a nonprofit environmental conservation organization that keeps Fort Loudoun Lake safe, clean, and fun. I'm Angela Howard, the Executive Director of FLLA, and I work with zone managers and an in-house scientist who removes trash and debris daily, educates our community on pollution prevention, and monitors stormwater and the health of our streams. We're going to have fun today because I've got somebody with me that normally we wouldn't see around Knoxville so much. I have Philip, who is not just a paddleboard racer, but he is an elite paddleboard racer.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I know you told me you're from very different places, but so where did you come from this time?
I came from Bryson City, North Carolina. I used to be a Olympic hopeful for whitewater slalom racing down there. And my wife actually got me started in paddleboard racing. She thought it would be fun to go out and try, and of course me being the canoeer that I was like, nah, this is kind of silly. It looks like a cross between surfing, which I enjoy, and canoeing, which was like, okay, I feel like I'm kind of defiling my sport. So it talked me into going out there and trying it out, and I really liked it, and I was like, man, I can be fast at this. So Abe Kiggins from Billy Lush Paddle Sports picked me up and was like, hey man, you can come down here and train with us, and we'll get you out in some races. So that's kind of how I got my start.
Okay, now I got to go back.
Okay.
You were a whitewater slalom hopeful. Whitewater.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, on your kayak.
Yeah, for a kayak.
I was thinking
Yep.
paddleboarding. Okay,
No,
and then
for canoes.
And then another really great thing that you said that has been a barrier for some people getting into the paddleboarding is you said, you first looked at it, you're a kayaker and a surfer, but putting the two together was a little rough. And I know some kayakers have a thing about paddleboarders.
Sure, you just feel like you're not being true to your sport. You're kind of, you're diverting from the originality of what you intended to do when you first started kayaking or first started canoeing or first started surfing. It's a combination. It's a migration of two sports into one, and it's incredible. The amount of balance that it takes to stand up on your board, your paddle stroke. I mean, it works everything from your legs all the way up.
It sure does. I know I've done it, not anywhere, and I never will be anywhere near where you are. But I know just standing up for most people works all those muscles, and it's fun. And once you get the hang of it, for me, it's like riding a bike.
Sure.
Once you get where the balance is, and okay, so you seem like an intense person that likes to race. So I'm so curious. What's it like out there racing? And then is it all about the pull? Is it how fast? I mean, what's it like?
Well, there's a couple different theories behind it. Of course, your stroke cadence, so exactly how fast you can get the paddle into the water, pulled back, and then get it back out of the water to set up for your next stroke. Keeping a high cadence is always good because you're just going to be getting more power out of that paddle shape. Also has a lot to do with it.
What about your paddle board? I mean, there's heavier ones and there's lighter ones.
Yeah, they're broken up into different classes. They have an unlimited class, which is over 14 feet. Then they have a 14-foot category, and then they have a 12.6, which is what I race, so 12 feet 6 inches long. And then they also have a rec board. So anybody that wants to come out and race, they have their own inflatable. They want to rent a board that's down there. They can go in and they can start this sport as racing.
So how would you entice somebody who's maybe never been in a boat with a paddle to get on a paddleboard? Tell us. I want to get it from a professional.
Well, I get people to come just because I'm so excited about the sport. I mean, it is really a neat experience to get out and view things that you just wouldn't normally from a hike or from walking around anywhere. And you can take this. I mean, I was looking at paddling up to Sevierville on a paddleboard from Knoxville, just because it's like...
Is that up through the Pigeon River? How would you do that?
Through the French Broad, from putting in down at Volunteer Landing and going all the way up past the parks and
That's
everything.
upstream, folks. We're talking, that's going up against 5 miles per hour of water.
Yeah, so it would just be an all-day event. It would just be fun to do, go up there, and then hopefully
How many miles is that?
I don't know. I just get up and do it one day and figure it out later.
Wow. Well, so we're glad to have you here. Are you going to stay in Knoxville and race with them?
Yeah, I'm actually living here in Knoxville, down in Louisville, and racing with the Billy Lush crew. And of course, we'll be going all over the place. We've got several different races. There's one coming up in Oak Ridge, and there's also one that's going to be going on in Nashville.
Wow.
That's a large race, and a lot of big competitors are going to be there.
How long have you been doing this? Just paddleboarding?
The paddleboarding about 3 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, and we had a race last weekend with the elite division, and thankfully I was able to take 3rd place. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And so, have you paddled with the current? Have you paddled like with ocean, or do you like this river stuff? Or
I've done well with my whitewater background. I've done a lot of different things: paddling with current, paddling against the current. And we have a training center, Billy Lush, that's down at the Outdoor Adventure Center in Knoxville, right by Ruth Chris. And that's right on the lake there. So we're able to go out and paddle upstream, and then so we see our times going upstream, and then of course which is increased by how fast the water's going back downstream, which is nice. So we're able to get out, train there, and then so we're training there, and we have the use of the water that we're able to do. We've got several different loops that we're able to do, 5-mile loops. We do sprint training, which is another completely different section of racing as well, just doing short sprints, which are really fun, very, very taxing as well.
coming from somebody as intense as you. Do you know about the Paddle for Clean Water that's coming up?
Yes, I do, and that is an excellent way to get people out and started in the paddling community, because you can jump on a board that hopefully somebody else is using, or you can rent one there that is provided. I think Billy Lush will be out there, and several other companies that will be represented there. And just to get you out and give you a sport that I enjoy, and hundreds of other people are just now starting to get into the stand-up paddleboard and enjoying this sport.
I wrote an article really about paddleboarding, I guess it was 2 months ago at the beginning of the summer. And I called the people of YOLO down in Florida. And I got the history of the paddleboard that started 50 years ago in Hawaii. And the guys were taking pictures of the surfers and had to stand up on their boards, and they go borrow a paddle just to get around. And then all of a sudden, I guess it was 50 years later, some Californians, they thought this is kind of cool. But you wouldn't have found out about it, and you didn't either, mister. Even though you were a kayaker, you'd have to really know somebody. And then I guess it was YOLO people that thought maybe renting them would be something fun for people to do.
Yeah, I mean, there's several different manufacturers. YOLO is one of the biggest ones. There's also MHL, which is from South America. I think they're actually from Puerto Rico. So there's several different companies that are also just now getting into creating the paddle boards, because it's a growing sport.
My goodness, is it growing? I think it's gone 500% over the past year, just the year.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the owner of YOLO told me it's really been 5 years. But this past year, I know in Knoxville, it drew you here, of course.
Yes, it did.
And it's a huge, it's becoming a big community, and it's fun, and they have interesting classes. I think there's yoga on the paddle boards. I think, doesn't Billy Lush do a workout on the paddle boards?
Yeah, there's actually a girl that races with us as well, Sarah Van Sickle. Probably a lot of people have heard of her with the Beauty Hunters in Knoxville. She is constantly posting videos of yoga.
I've seen her on the board.
Facebook and everything else. And they'll be on the Billy Lush website as well, or Facebook. But yeah, that's something that I don't think I would be doing that.
No, but you'll be racing. And so what do you think of our Tennessee River here?
I like it. There's a lot of different water systems around the Tennessee area, and of course I was coming over for the whitewater for such a long time, and being able to get out and use the other water systems that are here, the more flatter systems, is awesome. I mean, any water source is a source of life, and it shows that if you can take care of something, you can manage it properly, you'll just have a resource to bring so much more commerce into the area. Your recreation will be better, and your just quality of life will be better, because you've taken care of something that is so near and dear to everyone.
I love that you said that, the quality of life. But yeah, a clean river, especially one that we have downtown Knoxville, is so environmentally but economically such a great boost to our economy. But I love that quality of life. You know, it brings something better to a city to have a working river, not just a place people are throwing stuff into, but using. And now we got this whole new bursting sport called paddleboarding that drew you in, right, and drew people here. And there's so much paddleboarding rentals and places that people can try it out and get them out in the water. I mean, just get out on the water.
Yep.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
This lovely Tennessee River. And I mean, I'm sure you've been down a lot of whitewater, but I'm sure we can improve. But, you know, from your point of view, what do you think, or how our water system is comparatively and things that you've been?
Comparatively, it's pretty clean. I think everybody does a good job on taking care of stuff. I know working down, helping out Billy Lush, the group and everything, we do a lot of seeing stuff that floats into the marina and picking it out of the water and throwing it away. And a lot of the customers do similar things. And I think a lot of the people just in the Knoxville area are very outdoor oriented. The Leave No Trace organization has had an awesome impact with a lot of outdoor areas. Bryson City, where I was from before, the Knoxville area, their Subarus are always around here doing stuff. It's just a very outdoor oriented area.
That's wonderful to hear. I know the outdoor Knoxville has really been great at pulling that together, pulling all the outdoor outfits together.
Yes.
And Knoxville, the Parks and Rec, both the county and the city, you know, with the greenways, the expansion, and the blueways, and Madeline Rogero, who's going to be at our paddle.
Excellent.
On Saturday. She's coming, and our organization is going to gift her with a paddle. That actually, the joke is, it's from us to her in case she ever gets up a stream without a paddle.
That's awesome.
Right. Wow. Well, what would you say to the audience? You've got this wonderful platform. What would you say to them about water, about paddle sports, or just about Knoxville? What would you say?
You know, with the paddle sports, it's going to be something that you're going to have to get out and try. You know, I can tell you that it's an awesome sport, that it's something that has grown over such a short period of time, but you need to get out and try it. You need to get out and enjoy the water, enjoy the scenery, especially with fall coming, and kids are going back to school and everything. So please get out, enjoy the water, enjoy the time while it's warm. The outdoor Knoxville area, you know, just go down, visit the greenways. If you haven't been there, please get on your bike, run. There's so many different ways that you can enjoy the area here and just explore something that you might not have. And if you have kids, you know, take them down, get them on a paddleboard. They can ride with you. You know, there's so many different areas, and I just encourage you to get out and explore your local area.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, with that, Philip, thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for coming to Knoxville and gracing us with this elite paddleboard racer. I don't know if we have too many like you in Knoxville, but I think it's great. It's fantastic. So in closing, let me say thank you for joining us today. And remember what we do, REM, just like the great band. We remove trash and debris daily. We educate our community on pollution prevention. And we monitor the streams and stormwater management. 2 ways you can help out. You can donate at Fort Loudoun Lake Association at flake.org. That's FLLAKE.org. Or volunteer. And if you go to our website, we have volunteer events, we have events, paddle events. We've got another event coming up in the fall at Calhoun's, the Friday before the Western Kentucky game. So we have a lot of fun keeping our lake clean, and we have a lot of fun having volunteer events. So come out and join us. Thank you.